Hello everyone, my name is Amaron and welcome back to Elite Cameraman. I have not seen him in such a while. Now, we will be checking out 72 part 1 and 72 part 2. Now, that also totals up to like 20 minutes-ish, so buckle up.
Hello everyone, Elite Cameraman here.
Hello.
Today's episode was nuts. We just witnessed the start of one of the craziest battles we might see in the whole series. After 3 weeks of waiting, episode 72, part 1 of Skibidi Toilet finally came out, and the ending really did leave me speechless. But it wasn't just the ending. We also got to see some of the OG characters once again, like the Strider camera and Mech Cameraman, who was the POV cameraman of today's episode. We'll talk about all this and why the Astro Toilets are after G-Man Toilet later in the video. I think we can all safely say that we are in for a crazy ride when part 2 of episode 72 comes out. So if you don't want to miss any news, leaks, or updates about episode 72 part 2, make sure to like this video and subscribe. We are getting really close to 1.5 million subscribers, and if all of you who are still not subscribed subscribe, we'll easily reach the milestone. Anyways, here we go.
Yes, sir.
First of all, if you guys have watched the interview I did with Boom himself, you'd know that Boom didn't even count episode 72 in the episodes that he was hyped for in the near future. Even though this is the case, this episode really did not disappoint. It actually kind of felt like the OG episodes with all the chaos in the beginning. But it's crazy that Boom said that episode 73 and 74 will be even better, when in part 2 of episode 72, we'll most likely get to watch a crazy battle. I really am so hyped for the next couple episodes. This episode starts with the ending of episode 70 part 3, where Plunger Cameraman dies and his POV goes offline. And the POV actually changes to the Mech Scientist Toilet. We can actually see that it says Cameraman _ Scientist _ 1337 on the tablet itself, meaning that all the cameramen have their job titles written down. Seeing Plunger Cameraman's POV go offline right at the end of the battle must have been so hard for the Mech Cameraman, because if you guys didn't know, he was one of Plunger Cameraman's best friends. We literally saw them go out in battle together in the earlier episodes. And this is shown by his reaction when he smashes his mech after seeing the offline screen, but he has no time to mourn since there is an actually battle going on next to him. He looks to the road and we see one of the scenes we saw in one of the leaks. We can see the reinforcement cameraman fighting against the toilets, but suddenly the new police mutant toilet that we saw in the leaks shoots his rockets at the mech cameraman, forcing him to hold back while the other cameramen are struggling. This leads to Mech Cameraman using his lasers to get back at the police mutant toilet, but he easily blocks it thanks to his crazy shield. That's not all, because if we go back to episode 54 and look at the Mech Cameraman, he definitely had different weapon arms. This means that he either just got an upgrade or maybe he has different arms depending on the mission he is going.
Oh, maybe he has multiple mechs, like Iron Man. You know, he has one for each. One to take down the Hulk, one to rebuild stuff, one for recon, one for riots, stuff like that. He's prepared for it all.
Because last time he used a stun dart to stun the glitch toilet. And in this episode, he is like a killing machine with lasers, blades, and fists. After using his lasers, a new type of mutant toilet shows up and starts rushing towards the Mech Cameraman. This mutant toilet looks like a combination of the Buzzsaw mutant and the police mutant. But unlucky for him, the Mech Cameraman smacks the Skibidi out of him, knocking him down and using his crazy lasers to kill the mutant toilet. We talked about this in the leak video, but it really does seem like we'll be seeing a lot more mutant toilets every new episode if it goes like this.
They're evolving.
After killing the mutant, Mech Cameraman turns back to help the other cameraman by killing one of the rocket launcher toilets. But it doesn't end here, because another one of the Buzzsaw mutants jump on him from nowhere, but Blood stops him at the last second. Thankfully, Mech Cameraman doesn't get hurt, but the mutant toilet destroys his tablet right before Mech Cameraman pulls out the blade he had in his arm to stab him in his head. But the weird thing is, almost no blood comes out of his head, and instead of like a head stabbing sound, we hear like a machine stabbing sound. What's even weirder is that after the Mech Cameraman throws him onto the ground, he gets up once again as if nothing happened, even though he was stabbed in the head. But before he can do anything,
that's
the
illegal.
Mech Cameraman uses the lasers to completely demolish the mutant toilet.
Sorry.
Suddenly, mech cameraman looks
That
behind
is so
and sees
illegal.
another one of these mutant toilets jumping onto him, and he also kills that one without any hesitation. But sadly, he can see 3 rocket launcher toilets, 1 helicopter toilet, and 2 more mutant toilets on their way to kill him. If you look carefully and zoom in, you can see that even though these 2 mutant toilets look similar to the last few, they actually have different weapons. One only has his fists, and the other one has 2 axes. But before we can see them fight, mech cameraman turns to his left and sees his cameraman friends get cut in half by the sickle the police mutant toilet has.
Oh yeah,
These
sickle,
2 cameramen really had the same fate as Dark Speaker Man and Plunger Cameraman. Rest in peace to all of them. Also, what's funny about this weapon is that it is the same weapon
used by
Death uses in the last Puss in Boots movie. But that's not all, because this blood is like 4 times the size of the other mutant toilets.
Bonk.
Bro looks like he can bench a whole Titan. And he has no mercy, because even after cutting the cameraman in half, he also steps on one of them as if it's nothing while shooting off 2 rockets at the mech cameraman, and he dodges them while starting up his lasers to attack the police mutant toilet. But the police mutant opens up his shield to block the attacks once again, while getting closer to mech cameraman to slap him with the sickle and stab it into the mech to break his systems. But luckily enough, the police mutant toilet suddenly gets shot right on his neck, knocking him back a little, and this is no ordinary
and his
attack,
visor got
because if
broken.
you look carefully, it literally made him bleed, and Bro was shook when he saw what attacked him. After seeing the police mutant shocked, the mech cameraman also looks behind, and we see a bunch of toilets trying to kill a flying object, but they all end up dying. Once this flying thing lands down, it's revealed that it's an upgraded version of the Strider cameras, and holy moly, the Striders are crazy now. They can fly, and their firepower has increased so much. We see the Strider shoot the police mutant toilet a couple times, which leads to him trying to escape, but Bro stumbled on something and fell down with the goofy metal sound. Mech cameraman looks back at the Strider camera, and out of nowhere something attacks him. So we look back once again and see a Commander Soldier toilet coming out of nowhere, and Bro is chilling because he doesn't even drop his cigar while getting attacked by a bunch of explosive beams and keeps shooting his rockets. Thankfully, the new Strider camera is so strong that these attacks don't even scratch him, and he actually uses his main weapon, which is the camera lens itself, to shoot a crazy powerful beam,
and
just like the Titan cameraman. And the Commander Soldier toilet literally does the goofy sound while dying with the goofy metal sounds after he dies. I really was not expecting that sound effect while watching Bruh. That one really made me laugh. While we are on the topic of sound effects, Boom sent me his editing timeline for this episode, and it's crazy. The amount of time that goes into even just the sound effects are crazy. Bro literally has a whole maze in his editing timeline. After this, we see the mech cameraman giving a double thumbs up, and it's funny because he uses 1 mech hand and 1 normal hand while doing this. Right after this, we see the mech cameraman slowly walking towards the police mutant toilet, while we can clearly hear and see the Strider camera protecting him. And honestly, this is where the real deal of the episode starts. Mech cameraman throws a toilet paper grenade while walking towards the injured police mutant, and he actually stops in front of him to grab his sickle to most likely use against him.
Sickle,
before he can do that, the police mutant flips him off, and suddenly we start hearing some explosion sounds, which leads to the police mutant toilet laughing because he knows what's coming. Out of nowhere, G-Man Toilet shows up, destroying everything once again, just like what happened in episode 71. And once again, he does the Rizzy eyebrow emote. But this time, while attacking the mech cameraman, Bro can't get away with this every single time. He almost kills the mech cameraman as well.
How do we fly so far?
As much as we can while the Strider camera starts flying and attacking G-Man Toilet. But sadly, even he is not strong enough to go against G-Man.
No, Strider, you just came back for 1 episode.
Yellow shield, and it looks awfully like the Titan cameraman shield from episode 64 and 65. Most likely because they stole the Titan cameraman shield tech to use it themselves. It's crazy because we really don't know what type of upgrades G-Man Toilet got, and at the end of the episode, it looked like he still had some new tools that he hasn't showed us yet. After he shields himself, he uses only his left side rockets to literally demolish the Strider camera, and right when this is happening, the mech cameraman's mech starts giving out errors, so he jumps down to protect himself, and the mech literally explodes a second later. We also can see the mech scientist walking even though he lost his legs in the earlier episodes. This most likely means that he got his legs back, just
Yeah.
like the other cameraman who were injured in the
Just like
battlefield
Plunger.
after getting up once again. We can see the whole squad who was with G-Man in episode 71
The
slowly
containers are there.
continuing their way. And funny enough, we can see the DJ toilet floating once again.
Wait,
Bro
where?
really is a different breed.
DJ.
After almost everyone continues their way, one of the mechanic toilets slow down to say something to G-Man toilet.
DJ is the only
and we
good
see
one.
G-Man toilet lowering his head lasers to talk back to him, but it's unknown what they talked about. And what happens right after this scene was the real shocker, because out of nowhere, the Claw Astro toilet shows up, and Bro is
No.
gigantic. He literally is bigger than G-Man toilet from what it looks
Bro's
like.
innocent.
And he instantly grabs the mechanic toilet with his
Mechanic.
gravity claws to kill him, and literally throws it back to G-Man while actually
Wow.
talking to G-Man
Just
toilet.
flicked it.
And once again, he is speaking English. I actually asked about him talking English to Boom. And in our Q&A, he mentioned that all the Skibidis knew all the languages, but they prefer speaking Skibidi. And he says, "You know the penalty for treason, Commander. No one escapes justice."
Oh, by the way, you can actually hear what the TV man says and also the Astro toilets. You can hear what they say very clearly if you turn on the captions. It actually shows. It's pretty cool.
Here you go. Listen to it yourself.
Hold on. I pressed it on, and then you can read it literally. You need to do it on the actual video though. You can't do it on other videos because it's gonna get mixed up.
And G-Man is not fazed by this at all, and starts charging up all of his weapons this time to get ready and attack with a grin on his face. But what was the Astro toilet talking about? He called G-Man a commander and mentioned that he was a traitor. This reveals why the Astro toilets were after G-Man toilet, but we don't exactly know what the treason was. The Astro toilet saying no one escapes justice means that they are there to kill G-Man off to serve their justice.
Yeah.
I think it's likely that we'll get
Kinda
to learn
doesn't make
more
sense.
about this treason in the next couple episodes, because it really could be anything. Whatever happens in the next episode is going to be crazy, and it actually will be the first time we see a toilet versus toilet battle, which I'm so excited about. Whatever happens in the next episode is going to be crazy, and it actually will be the first time we... Hello everyone.
Okay, so
Elite
this is the
Cameraman
continuation.
here. Today we'll
Where
talk
there's
about
a little
one of the
bit more
most
different
important
stuff.
topics for the next episode, and one crazy detail from episode 72 part 1 that I missed in my episode analysis. As you guys know, at the end of episode 72 part 1, we saw the Claw Astro toilet arriving at the scene and accusing G-Man toilet for treason and saying that no one can escape justice. This means we'll get to watch a fight between two toilets for the first time ever in the series. And they are not just some random toilets. These dudes are two of the strongest toilets ever. The stakes being this high begs the question of who is
Who will
stronger?
live and who will
And that's
die?
what we'll be talking about today. But before we get into it, make sure to like this video and subscribe to not miss anything about episode 72. If I do get any news on the release date
Better question is how do they have so much fuel that they can just burn and not care about?
of episode 72 part 2, I'll let you guys know. Anyways, here we go. The first thing we need to talk about is a very big secret from episode 72 part 1. I noticed this detail literally while premiering my own video, and we have to talk about it. Right when the POV cameraman was about to kill the police mutant toilet who was flipping us off, we can actually see someone watching us from far behind.
Who are where?
But who is this person? At first you might think it is the secret agent, but it actually is not. But it surely is someone connected to it,
right
because
there.
if you freeze the video in a certain frame, you can clearly see a cameraman behind all the fog. This cameraman most likely is one of the Mint cameramen
Wait, what
that the
Mint
secret
cameraman?
agent control. We all know that this episode is literally seconds after the ending of episode 70 part 3, where we know the Mint cameraman left the base. They most
Okay.
likely went to watch over what's happening outside. And we know that they can turn invisible and teleport, so this cameraman most likely teleported right before
probably
he got
right.
crushed by
There was the other
G-Man's
one.
huge trunk. Blood literally drifted in front of the POV cameraman as if this was a style show. One thing is for certain. From now on, we'll need to look out for not just the secret agent, but his own Mint cameraman agents who will
Mint
most likely
cameraman.
be observing everyone. Now to the main topic of today's video, who is stronger? Is it the Dumbo Jimmy Man or the Chad Astro toilet
What
who
the fuck?
speaks English to flex on the other toilets? We actually have some hints from Boom when it comes to this topic. One of the other analysis YouTubers has asked Boom about the powers of G-Man toilet, And his answer was
Really?
that we have yet to see the full power of the newly upgraded G-Man, because if you think about it, we
Should we
really
be
haven't
worried?
seen anything other than the lasers. And even just in the last episode, we saw him being able to use Titan Cameraman's shield technology, and we have yet to see what else they stole from the Alliance. At the end of episode 72, part 1, it looked like he was about to activate something because his whole mechanical body was moving
Yeah.
weirdly. Now, before we compare them, let's talk about the next hint Boom gave us about the Astro Toilets this time. In my Q&A video, I asked, how do you think the Astro Toilets will affect the power scales? Because from what we've seen so far, they seem like they can actually hold off against the Titans, but it looks like they have a different plan. And he answered with, we have yet to see the strongest yet.
What?
I didn't really think deeply about this question, but when you look back to it, it does seem like it's kind of reflecting the overall question.
I'm pretty sure it's
and
in part
Boom
2,
is
right?
purposefully talking just about the power aspect of things. The fact that he said, we have yet to see the strongest yet, makes me think that the Claw Astro Toilet isn't as strong as we think, or at least in the current power balance. From what we saw, the Astro Toilets are crazy strong,
Yeah.
but we haven't
Yeah.
seen how strong G-Man Toilet is with his new upgrades, and even the Mutant Toilets are looking to be crazy overpowered. If it was like 15 episodes ago, the Astro Toilets would solo everyone. But that's not the case anymore because everyone has been getting stronger over time. Even the lowest troops like the regular agents have upgrades now.
Yep.
So this leads me to believe that Boom has been making the Claw
what's going
Astro
on?
Toilet seem extremely strong for the last couple episodes, so that we feel the power difference. And in episode 72, part 2, it's a really good possibility that we'll see G-Man Toilet finally
really
show
think we
off
will.
his new powers and winning the
By the way, I haven't seen episode 72, so I'm going into this blind, okay? I watched the first part, but not the second.
battle. This might be totally wrong, but it is a real possibility. But if you were to ask me what's going to happen, I think we'll see a fight that's really close and we will not have a winner because Boom also mentioned that episode 72 will not have the Titans, but episode 73 will. We also know that in the secret scenes for the last season, we saw the Titans seeing the aftermath of G-Man Toilet's destruction,
Yeah.
which leads me to believe that they are on their way to clap G-Man Toilet, and we
What?
might get a big cliffhanger
Yo, chill,
at the
bro.
end of episode 72, part 2, which will lead to the Titans arriving at the last second of the fight between the Claw Astro Toilet and G-Man, interfering in the fight last second right before one of them was about to lose. And I do think
I
that
don't
when
think
this
that's the
happens,
case.
the Astro Claw Toilet will yap about something to the Titans and G-Man Toilet before vanishing with his hyperspeed. Hopefully we'll get to see some leaks soon because Boom did mention that it'd most likely take a week or so to finish episode.
Okay, let's go. Now this is
Hello,
the part
everyone.
2.
Elite cameraman here. Oh boy, I
Hello,
don't even know
hello.
where to start.
Yep.
Today's episode was nuts.
What's going
it's
on?
April Fool's Day, and many people were thinking that Boom is just pulling a prank when he announced that the episode would be coming out today. But here we are after almost 2 weeks of waiting. It truly was worth the wait because this episode really passed my expectations.
What? Wait, what was
Boom
that?
told us it was going to be 3 minutes plus, but this
What is
episode
going
was
on?
longer than 4 minutes, and it came out only 11 days after the last episode. Everything from the battle between G-Man Toilet and the Astro Claw Toilet to the new crazy-looking Astro Toilet
hey.
was mind-blowing.
Wait, that looks like a
It
Verlance.
feels like we are entering a new era of Skibidi Toilet because of how strong the Astro
Yeah,
Toilets
that looks like
are.
Verlance.
And just to remind you, this is just the beginning. Until now, we have only seen 3 Astro Toilets
the
in
heck?
total, and God knows how many there are in total. The 3 we saw might not even be close to the strongest Astro Toilets. But before we get into all the juicy stuff that happened in today's episode, make sure to like this video and subscribe.
What the heck is
Let's
going
try
on?
to get to 69,000 likes and 1.5 million subscribers because we are almost there. Anyways, here we go. Since today's episode is a part 2, it starts with the ending of episode 72 part 1, where we saw the Claw Astro Toilet arrive at the scene. If you guys haven't seen my episode 72 part 1 analysis video in this scene,
Make sure
Claw
to check it out.
Astro Toilet speaks and says, "You know the penalty for treason, Commander. No one escapes justice." And episode 72 part 1 ended right when G-Man was about to fire his lasers. We start the new footage with no cuts, and G-Man instantly starts firing his lasers at the Claw Astro Toilet. But as we have seen from episode 70 part 1, where Claw Astro Toilet was shown for the first time, he can use his gravitational claws to stop projectiles, deflect them, and copy them. We'll get back to this because this power actually results in his downfall, but we'll talk about this later in the video.
Really? Wait,
While
what?
G-Man is shooting his lasers, Astro Claw Toilet does a shield formation to block the attack fully, and utilizes his top claw to copy the laser ability to shoot it back. But since
Yeah.
he can only shoot one laser,
The
the
chameleon.
firepower is not that impressive, and G-Man Toilet instantly blocks it with his new shield that they probably stole from Titan Cameraman's technology, and right when he blocks Bro does the Rizzler face once again. He just can't stop bruh. This guy is a different breed when it comes to Rizzy faces.
I mean,
But
that's why
seeing
he's
this,
G-Man.
Astro Claw Toilet actually starts using powers that we didn't know existed. He pulls his claws back and 3 tentacles fly out of his claws to attack the shield itself. I don't know what he
Wait, what?
normally uses those tentacles for, but it cannot be
Is he
good.
draining the
It looked like the
energy?
tentacles were electrocuting the shield to overpower it, to disable the shield completely, but in reality we see what Astro Toilet was trying to do a couple moments after. G-Man Toilet outsmarts Astro Toilet by rotating his jet engines 180
Yeah, it was
degrees to push
absorbing
himself
the energy.
backwards. But he didn't do this fast enough since we literally see Astro Claw Toilet stealing the energy of the shield
Yeah.
and tripling his laser firepower. Seeing this, G-Man Toilet knows he has to take some extreme
We're
protective
screwed
measures,
up.
so he decides to pull a crazy move and starts using a helmet.
Is that a blast
Bro
mask?
literally pulled it out as if he is Iron Man. Right after this, they both start firing the lasers instantly.
That's
And
a
if you do the math, G-Man
ballistic
is at
mask.
an advantage here because his overall firing power is most likely double of Astro Claw Toilet, so we can actually see G-Man Toilet pushing Astro Toilet
Yeah,
cloned
he's-
lasers. But somehow, Astro Claw Toilet starts spinning his claws faster and faster to boost the power of his own lasers to push it back. And we
Oof,
actually
you
see
can even feel
G-Man
it.
Toilet struggling. We can't see his exact impression because of the face mask, but he starts shaking. And it's clear that if the plane bomber toilets didn't come to his rescue just
He will
at
be
the right
dead.
time, he was going to lose the laser battle. The first bomber toilet doesn't even make the Astro Claw
Wait, what
toilet
the-
flinch, but the second one literally annoys him so much that he stops the laser fight with a big boom and turns around
Yo.
to deal with the bomber toilets. He destroys all of the bomber toilets in seconds, but this really was a mistake on his part because he put down his defenses just to deal with some bomber toilets
Yeah.
that didn't even do that much damage. I think after almost beating the laser battle, he
Oof.
underestimated G-Man Toilet a lot.
Bye-bye.
And that's what happens throughout the episode. G-Man's history of fights are all loses. So Astro Toilets probably think so lowly of him. After getting knocked down by G-Man Toilet's lasers and getting actual damage, which we can see through his face scars that he just got,
Yo,
Astro Claw Toilet starts looking a lot
Nice.
more serious and says, "Enough games. Here you go. Listen to it yourself."
yo, the voice is so
After
like
saying this,
weird.
Blood literally dodges G-Man Toilet's lasers without any effort and dashes onto G-Man to start punching him with his claws, and G-Man has no arms, so Bro can't do anything about it.
Bonk.
I'm gonna be honest. I
Yeah.
think this scene we are about to talk about is actually the first time G-Man Toilet
No
felt
arms?
helpless and hopeless.
No arms.
The punches that the Claw Astro Toilet threw felt like they were powerful, but the punches weren't all because the Astro Toilet starts pulling out G-Man Toilet's
Yeah, just rip
lasers
stuff off.
and throwing them down alongside his face mask. I assume this was to grab his head just like the first leak that we saw, because right after this
Yeah.
we actually get to see the scene that was shown in the first leak that everyone thought was a troll leak, but it looks like it was real. And
Yeah,
it just looked
yeah,
weird
grab
because
it,
it wasn't
rip it.
rendered. People were also
Grab it,
confused about
rip
the
it.
scales of the characters because of this scene, since the Claw Astro Toilet looks so small, and because of this boom, wanted me to show you guys an outside perspective of the characters and the real size comparison, and mentioned that the sizes never change, and it was just the perspective.
Yeah.
This scene is exactly like what we thought, and it is a remake of what happened in episode 60. We also see the needle hand
Look at
the
that.
Astro Claw Toilet had in episode 60. This also means that the Astro Claw Toilet might have had more tools inside his claws, but we will never know for a while because of what
One
happened later in the
crap.
episode. But one thing is not clear.
And
If
you're
this
dead.
is to
You're
kill
done.
G-Man Toilet, why was he waiting? What was he waiting for? A couple seconds after Astro Claw Toilet puts his claw onto G-Man Toilet's head, this is weird because why did G-Man Toilet suddenly started screaming after a few seconds? This wasn't like a normal scream. This was a terrifying scream.
Really?
It felt like Astro Toilet was doing something to G-Man Toilet's brain instead of just trying to kill him, because I think he could have stabbed him 10 times within those 3 seconds. I don't know what the Astro Toilets are planning, but this was the moment
Let
where
us have a
G-Man
hear.
Toilet truly felt hopeless. His screams distorted the camera for 5 whole seconds.
What?
Bro's face while
heck?
screaming was truly something else. And with how terrified he was, he just starts using his lasers randomly and actually hits the Claw Astro Toilet. But it doesn't seem to hurt him.
Scramble his mind or
blocking it with
something?
his claw hands. After Claw Astro Toilet escapes G-Man Toilet's lasers, we can literally see G-Man Toilet tweaking. Bro was so terrified that his face muscles were moving on its own. While G-Man Toilet was trying to spot the Astro Toilet attacked him twice with his extremely fast attacks. G-Man
Now the
wasn't
glasses
able
are
to
off.
defend himself and his sunglasses broke. But right before the third attack, he was able to open his shield. And this actually was a crazy move because Astro Toilet
Bang.
hitting the shield in extreme speeds actually hurt him a lot. We can literally see his engines burning and electricity leaking. And G-Man doesn't wait a second before using his
They're
lasers
high
on
right
him
now.
once again, right before the Astro Toilet zooms out of the fight. But this is not
Bonk.
the end. On the contrary, this is where G-Man starts to see a pattern on the Astro Toilet's behavior. If you look back, G-Man didn't defend himself for 2 attacks, and Astro Toilet attacked the 3rd time without thinking. But on the 3rd attack, G-Man opened his shield. He could have done this the first attack, but that might have made the Astro Toilet feel like he was losing the battle. Instead, G-Man clearly is playing the long game instead of winning the short blows. After the Claw Astro Toilet disappears again, G-Man starts looking around again. But if I'm honest, I think this time it was intentional because we see the Astro Toilet coming up from behind G-Man Toilet, and he uses 2 needles this time because he just wants to get done with the battle. The reason for this is most likely because he now understands he might actually get some damage, but I don't think he thinks he'll lose the battle.
Stab him.
Right before the Astro Toilet attacks, if you freeze the frame, we can actually see G-Man Toilet stop tweaking and start smiling slightly. Bro already knew what was happening. And he was just acting here. I'm gonna be honest with the other thing he'll do later in the episode.
He looks so
I
old.
think G-Man really has learned his lesson from his old fights, and he is not just attacking randomly, but actually thinking before he does stuff in battle. This really is a crazy improvement.
He looks so old.
Right before the Astro Claw Toilet
Grandpa,
attacks, G-Man
Fossil.
Toilet instantly turns back and starts using his lasers right on Astro Toilet's
Yo, he did the same thing to those large cameramans in the earlier episodes as well.
face, leading him to get knocked back so that he can defend himself with his claws. After absorbing the laser energy, he once again uses it to counterattack, but this time he uses energy balls to knock G-Man off. And unlike the G-Man Toilet we are used to, we actually see a very serious-looking G-Man Toilet probably planning his next move to take down the Astro Toilet for good. Right at this scene, Astro Toilet starts speaking to G-Man Toilet once again and says, "Give up, it's over for you. Here you go, listen to it yourself."
Give up, old
Right
man.
at this scene, Astro Toilet starts speaking to G-Man Toilet once again and says,
Why did it
"Give
repeat?
up, it's over for you." And in the subtitles Boom put himself, it actually says, "It's Jover for you." That was goofy.
Jover?
Here you go. Listen to it yourself.
It's Jover for you. Bro.
After Astro Toilet says this, G-Man does a weird move. We see him pull out an energy ball from his core and make it attack Astro Toilet. But as you guys saw, he had a grin on his face right before, and this was all calculated. He used his energy ball knowing that the Astro Toilet would counter it by deflecting it. He knew it was so slow for it to do something, but from Astro Toilet's perspective, this was mostly a last resort from G-Man Toilet. And we can clearly see that his base is about to fall apart because it is not stable. But when Astro Toilet was playing checkers, G-Man Toilet was playing 4D chess.
Yo.
Right before Astro Toilets deflects the energy ball, he
You can
says,
kind of
"That's
see
all,"
it moving.
while being confused. Here you go. Listen to it yourself.
Oh.
After G-Man Toilet gets attacked by his
Yo,
own
the balls
energy
look
ball
weird.
and takes a little bit off damage, he instantly creates
Okay,
2
hold on,
more
that's
energy
suspicious.
balls, but we can instantly see that they are different. They have some
Hold on, I'm gonna guess. It's gonna take over his arms. When he grabs it. I mean, like, it's so freaking suspicious. Why would you grab the same balls that look flickery?
purple particles coming out of them.
That's so
And
suspicious.
It does look like the
Why would you do
energy
it?
that Titan TV Man produces, which will be important later when I'm explaining what happened. After Astro Toilets grabs the energy balls, he says "pathetic" to G-Man Toilet
That's so
without knowing
suspicious.
what's coming. Here you go, listen to it yourself.
Pathetic.
After this,
Why would you grab the
G-Man's
balls?
energy balls that the Astro Toilet was happily
Grab your own
holding
balls, bro.
explode, and we can clearly see that it's as if G-Man Toilet hacked Astro Toilet's hands, at least the ones that the energy balls were on. Before I continue,
Grab your own
I need
balls.
to explain what happened here. As you guys know, we saw this yellow-purple energy before, and it was on episode 68, part 1, when one of the clone G-Man toilets attacked Titan TV Man. This clearly means that this is the same energy. I think it is possible that the purple TV Man energy has the ability to control stuff, just like how the TV Man can use their TV beams. This results in G-Man controlling Astro Toilet's hands with the purple-yellow energy ball energy. We literally see the Astro Toilet shocked, and I think at that moment he knew. He messed up and got outplayed. G-Man Toilet starts using the hands against the Astro Toilet and makes Astro Toilet grab his own head and squish it, and blood literally turns to his own self for a second because the way he laughs is so freaky. He suddenly starts pulling out the needles to make Astro Toilet stab himself, and even though Astro Toilet manages to cut one of his arms before G-Man can do anything, the second arm stabs himself in the neck, causing him to fall down. But that's not all, because he is still alive and he gets up with a broken body, scars, and with one arm left. And I hate to admit this, but this guy truly has dedication. If it was G-Man Toilet in his shoes, he would have dipped 10 minutes ago. After this, the POV camera looks back at G-Man Toilet, and we see him looking really freaky while opening up his lasers. I'ma be honest. I need to ask if the Astro Toilet did something his brain, because the way he is looking is not looking very healthy. Bro went from Rizzler mode to the weird kid in class really fast.
What the heck?
After he starts shooting his lasers, the Claw Astro Toilet can't do anything, but something incredible happens. Boom told us that a new strong character would appear, and I did guess it would be an Astro Toilet, but bro, I did not expect something like this.
And it looks like
Astro Toilet
Verlance.
appeared out of nowhere, and goddamn, he looks cool. Bro looks like he came from the future. I don't know what to call this new Astro Toilet, to
He's
be
from
honest.
Skibidi Wars.
Some names that people were saying include Gas Mask Astro, Astro Knight, Astro Emperor, Astro Boss, Astro Titan, and many more. For now, I'll just call him Gas Mask Astro, since he has
Gas
a
Mask
mask.
Man.
But if the community decides to use a different name, we'll go ahead with that. If you have any ideas on what we call this humongous dude, let me know. After he arrives at the scene and blocks the attack with his crazy, powerful shield, which I think is much more advanced compared to both normal Skibidus and the Alliance, he starts using his hand cannon and charging it up. He shoots the energy ball, which is a lot faster compared to G-Man's energy balls. It hits G-Man Toilet's shield and literally disables it while pushing G-Man Toilet back. This is some crazy power.
It's still there. The effects are still lingering.
Charging it one more time, and he can also use his shield at the same time. But while charging it up to kill G-Man Toilet, someone starts shooting the Gas Mask Astro out of nowhere. And once we turn left, we see that it's Titan Speakerman arriving at the scene. The Gas Mask Astro Toilet shoots the energy ball at Titan Speakerman, but he dodges it instantly. At least he thinks he dodged it, because this energy ball is so powerful that even though it explodes so far away from Titan Speakerman, it has the power to knock him off just from its explosion force. This new character is truly crazy, and right after defending himself, he gets a hold of the Claw Astro Toilet and zooms out of the battlefield to save him. Bro is truly a menace to society. But the episode doesn't end here, because as you guys know, G-Man Toilet is still there and the Titans have just arrived. Titan Speakerman gets kinda mad, and Bro starts taking his anger out on G-Man Toilet by using his core laser instantly to attack him. But G-Man Toilet opens his shields up to defend himself. And unlike the battle with the Astro Toilet, he looks like he was caught off guard, and he is kinda scared, as he should be. Titan TV Man arrives out of nowhere to start using his TV beam on him, but he closes his eyes to not be affected by it, and escapes the scene right before Titan TV Man can cut him off. And Titan TV Man says this asshole will die today. But for some reason in the subtitles it says he will not escape this time. Probably because Boom wants to keep the subtitles PG.
Yeah,
and right after this he also says, "Are you ready, bro?" according to the subtitles. But if you listen to it in reverse, you'll clearly hear that he surely does not say bro at the end, but instead drops a B-bomb and says, "Are you ready, bitch?" from what I can hear.
Yo.
Here you go.
That's your friend.
Listen to it yourself in reverse.
That's your friend. That's your friend, bro.
After this, one of the coolest moments in the series happen, and we see the Titan cameraman pull out his hand to change it with one of Astro Toilet's claws, which will make him crazy overpowered if you ask me, and will actually give an advantage against all the toilet races. But that's not the important part, because right at the end of the episode, he speaks for the first time and says,
"For plunger,"
ending the episode. That line does go hard with all the context.
For
and just
plunger.
like Titan cameraman, you should like and subscribe for Plunger.
I actually thought it was gonna say "For Plunger Man." I was gonna say "For Plunger Man," but then I heard Elite Cameraman stop, so I stopped as well. That's kind of weird. Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out the channel, links in the description, and have a great day. Make sure to pay attention. Bye, guys.